Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to take a look at Pokémon TCG Pocket and all of the lovely new EXs therein. You see, while I was travelling to Dortmund this weekend, yeah, that's right, it's official, I'm going to be casting the Dortmund Regionals this weekend. First Regionals of the year. I'm on this cast. I am delighted. But they went and dropped Pokémon TCG Pocket, the soft launch in New Zealand. Obviously, I set myself up a New Zealand iTunes account, got downloading. I have played a bunch of the game, but I couldn't get you any videos before now. I literally have gotten to the hotel, and the very first thing that I'm doing in the hotel is bringing you this video, which, yes, I know is later than normal, and there is another video coming tonight very shortly. But now, every EX in order. Let's start off with Venusaur, 190 HP. It's a stage 2, but even for a stage 2, you're going to see here, 190 is high. Free energy 60 is honestly a bit meh, because, I mean, well, look, you're going to see when you play the game. Free energy 60, it's fine. It'll KO basics. And I've played enough of the game now to start getting a real handle on how good these are, which is nice. I'm still early, let's be clear, everyone's early, but I feel like we can now talk about these a little bit. And yeah, it's fine, but it's not going to do too much. 4 energy, 100 damage, heal 30. That, ladies and gentlemen, I can absolutely get behind. This is a very nice attack indeed. It is one that is going to do you very, very well. If your opponent hasn't set up a big Pokemon to go against it by the time this gets rolling, you will win the game. Executor is a stage 1 160, and you will see that even for a stage 1 EX, 160 is very, very nice. The downside we've got here is the attack is very, very, very meh. We've got single energy, 40 damage, flip a coin if heads 40 more. And I tell you right now, 40 damage is not good. You're not even getting basics unless you're hitting for weakness. If you're hitting for weakness, you will actually get basics, which is lovely. But honestly here, you need to flip heads in order for this to be good. And if you do flip heads, it is actually quite good. But if you don't flip heads, and let's face it, half the time you're not going to flip heads, I don't love this. But it is a single energy attack on 160 HP Pokemon. That alone is pretty good. Charizard is a stage 2 of 180 HP, which is decent. Not phenomenal, but decent. And like we saw with Venusaur, we got free energy 60. That is not particularly exciting. 4 energy 200 is with a major caveat. And the caveat is you need to discard 2 energy. And a lot of the time you're going to discard 2 energy and then not be able to attack for a turn. So this is great for big one-hit KOs. This is one of the few attacks out there that will actually get one-hit KOs on EXs. There are not many of those attacks around right now, which is awesome. But this is very much use it to end the game. And look, you need 3 points for a win. You get 2 points for KOing a Pokemon EX. So the reality is, you take 1 prize, come in with Charizard, finish the game with Crimson Storm. But just make sure you are finishing the game, because you're then going to get hit twice in a row. Although I will say, it is phenomenal for doing what it does. Arcanine EX comes in with 150 HP for a stage 1, which is not the highest, but is not too shabby. Free energy, 120, and 20 to itself. The free energy is a bit sad on a stage 1, because you really want a basic energy, evolve energy. But I'll be honest with you, this one puts in work. Now, it does do 20 to itself when it does damage, which is a bit annoying, but make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen, this is a Pokemon that you can string a couple of attacks together, get it going early enough here, and this is a very nice EX. Now, Moltres EX is a basic Pokemon, 140 HP, which is honestly good. Basic EX is 140, yeah, this is high. And we've got Inferno Takedown. For 1 energy, you flip 3 coins, and then you take an amount of fire energy from the energy zone equal to the number of heads that you flip, and attach it to your bench fire Pokemon in any way you like. If you can get rolling in the early game with this, and flip a few heads, this is genuinely phenomenal. Do please bear in mind that there'll be times you flip tails. And also, I got to mention the retreat cost of 2 here, actually kind of annoying, honestly. Because with a retreat cost of 1, you use it for a single energy for a couple of turns, and then just stop it. Retreat cost of 2 is actually going to be kind of annoying. Blastoise Stage 2, 180 HP, 2 energy 40. I've made my thoughts about 40 damage very, very clear. 3 energy 100. If it's got 2 more attached, it does 160. You need a bunch of energy for Blastoise to be good, honestly. You really do need to get a bunch of energy down for Blastoise to be good. I'm not a huge fan of this yet, with one caveat. Water decks do have Misty. And Misty lets you flip a coin until you get tails, and for each heads, attach water energy from the energy zone to one Pokemon. They all have to go to the same one. If you flip enough heads with Misty, Blastoise does actually become awesome. Starmie is a stage 1 with 130 HP, and it's not a very exciting EX, I'm going to be honest with you. It's just 2 energy 90. That's it. That's all it does. But actually, it's a stage 1, 2 energy, so you should get this rolling turn 2 if you're drawing okay. And actually, 90 will get basics, it'll get stage 1s, it will 2-hit KO EXs. So, Starmie's not very exciting, and I've not had a chance to play with it yet. Again, the game soft launched a few hours ago. But I'm telling you right now, I think Starmie could actually end up being a pretty good Pokemon. It's not very exciting, but you get 2 energy on this and evolve up turn 2, start hitting 90 damage. I'm just telling you, this could be good. Also in water, we've got ourselves Articuno. 140 HP on a basic is alright. 2 energy 40 is not particularly good, but it is on a basic. 3 energy, 80 damage, plus 10 to the bench. And this is a Pokemon that really depends on your opponent's setup. If your opponent starts hitting you for weakness or hitting with a powerful Pokemon, this is going to be garbage. And unless you use Misty, this is going to be a turn 3 attack. However, if you can get a couple turns of this and start lowering the HP of your opponent's Pokemon, this could be awesome. Now, Pikachu, weirdly enough, very similar to Starmie, but it's a basic 120 HP, which is low, but 2 energy, 30 damage for each of your bench lightning Pokemon. I have found, generally speaking, it is not difficult to get 3 bench Pokemon out in this game. And you're going to be playing an all lightning deck with Pikachu. So this is going to be turn 2 or turn 3 if you go first and can't attach an energy. 90? Yeah, Pikachu's pretty good. Again, if your opponent gets a good start, starts chucking some powerful Pokemon down, Pikachu might not last. But I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, in the early game, Pikachu's sitting there doing 90. It's going to be knocking out all these evolving Pokemon pretty quickly. And speaking of Lightning EXs, I'm a big fan of Zapdos as well. I think Zapdos could be pretty good. We've got 130 HP, which is, it's fine. We've got single energy 20, and look, this isn't good. And I'm not pretending it's good, okay? It's not particularly good. However, it is a basic Pokemon single energy, so with weakness you're hitting 40, otherwise you're hitting 20. Just for getting some damage down on the board in the early game, I like it. But then free energy, flip 4 coins, 50 damage for each heads. Most of the time it's going to be 100 damage. But there's going to be other times where this actually comes around very, very nicely, does a huge amount of damage, and I'm just telling you right now, I like this Pokemon. I think this one could be very, very good. Now, Gengar gets a nice distinction as the only Pokemon EX that has an ability. It's a stage 2, but it's only got 170 HP, which is frankly not ideal. And we've got an attack, free energy, 100 damage, which is all right, but nothing spectacular, as you might have seen already. But as long as this Pokemon is in the active, your opponent can't use any supporter cards from their hand. And like right now, you need to play 2 Professor Oak in your deck. Everyone is playing 2 Professor Oak in their deck because it's a ridiculous card that draws you 2 cards. And with 20 card decks, that is huge. Well, you know what? this stops you using it. It stops things like Misty. If you get this Pokemon into the active, it's actually genuinely super annoying. And I do need to mention there is another Gengar as well here that has an attack that does 50 damage and stops your opponent playing a supporter card. And that's actually really genuinely good. I like this, ladies and gentlemen. Bit hard to get going. The attack doesn't do huge damage, but when you're rolling with this, it's awesome. Now, Mewtwo is a basic 150 HP, which is not too shabby. We got 2 energy, 50 damage, and we've got 4 energy, 150, discard 2. And this brings me back to what I said about Charizard a minute ago. The 2 energy, 50, it's actually sneaky annoying because most basics have 60, so being 10 damage short of KOing basics on turn 2 is annoying. And 4 energy, 150 will get a lot of EXs, as you've seen, but not all of them. And then also, you are discarding 2 energy, which, as previously mentioned, super annoying because you then can't attack 2 turns in a row. And I'm just telling you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not that high on this Mewtwo. I'm not saying it's not going to be good. End of the day, it's a basic EX. It's going to end up being good because you don't have to evolve it and you just get an energy every turn and it is going to work. But I think in the long game, I'm not liking Mewtwo as much as I like a bunch of the others. Now, Machamp here, 3 energy, 120 on 180 HP Pokemon. This is, again, a Pokemon which is not flashy. And honestly, I'm not a huge fan. I like the HP's high, but 3 energy, 120 is the equivalent of 1 energy, 40. You're not one-hit KOing EXs, and you can do this turn after turn. And again, if your opponent hasn't got an EX up, you'll probably be KOing most things anyway. But this is one that seems slightly underwhelming to me. Now, Marowak, I pulled 2 of these. When I did the Pokémon TCG Pocket preview, I have pulled none of them in my time with the game proper, and that makes me sad. Stage 1, 140 HP, and 2 energy, flip 2 coins, 80 for each heads. I like this a lot. I love this Pokemon. Stage 1, 2 energy means it's not that difficult to get going, but the expectation here is 80. Which is alright, that'll get basic stage 1s, things like that. And sure, there'll be turns you hit 0, and that's going to suck, but there's going to be turns you hit 160 and start KOing EXs, and I honestly think it's worth the risk. Could be wrong here, but Marowak is one I am very excited to start having a big old play with. And that gives us one with which to finish off. It's Wigglytuff EX, stage 1, 140, 3 energy, 80 damage plus sleep. Well, 140 HP is pretty nice, but 80 damage for 3 energy, I'm not loving. And sleep is nice, but the problem is there's going to be enough times where you flip tails on sleep, or your opponent flips heads on sleep, I suppose. And then that's going to be a huge, huge problem. So this is another one that for the time being, and again, things can absolutely change, but for the time being, I'm not loving it. These are all the EXs in Genetic Apex, the first expansion for Pokémon TCG Pocket. We are early here, ladies and gentlemen. Things will change. The meta will evolve. I'm giving you my opinions right now, but they are nothing more than my early opinions. But I want to hear from you guys. Tell me if you've been able to play the game yet. Tell me what you think about it. Tell me which is your favorite EX of the bunch. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.